Recording now. Good morning. My name is Alex Aguirre. I'm the Small Business Liaison for Caltrans District 11. As the District Small Business Liaison, it is my duty to assist inquiring small businesses on the next steps to take according to their business endeavors. Each business's next steps vary dependent on various criteria. Today, I will be presenting to you the various paths to allow you to know your small business resources and best determine what will be your next best step. So before I move on, I just wanted to go over some of the chat and Q&A features within WebEx. My counterpart will be facilitating the Q&A portion of the presentation. So if you want to send a message via the chat box, you'll go ahead and open the chat panel in the lower right corner of your screen, and you'll see a chat icon. And in there, you're going to hit send to, or under the drop-down list, you'll want to select the recipient of the message. Enter your message in the chat box, and then press enter on your keyboard. If you want to submit a question via the Q&A panel, you'll go ahead and click on the 3 periods right next to the chat icon. Click on the drop-down menu and select all co-host as the recipient of the question. Then enter your question in the text box to submit your question. Also, be sure to indicate in your question if you prefer to have the moderators ask your question or if you'd like to be unmuted to ask yourself. I'd also like to review our Caltrans Non-Discrimination Policy Statement. The Title VI of Civil Rights Act of 1964 prohibits the discrimination of those based upon race, color, and national origin. Specifically, it states that no person in the United States shall, on the ground of race, color, or national origin, be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefits of, or be subjected to discrimination under any program or activity receiving federal financial assistance. Now, Caltrans manages, develops, and maintains some 50,000 miles of state highway and interstate freeway lanes. In addition to these thoroughfares, Caltrans also manages major intercity rail services and handles the permitting for airports and heliports. Because of the scope of Caltrans' mission is far greater for Caltrans to manage alone, our department depends on private contracting partners to fulfill this mission and project goals. In short, our mission is to provide a safe, sustainable, integrated, and efficient transportation system to enhance our state's economy and livability. After reading this, if your company feels that they can contribute to this overall mission, then Caltrans may be a great place for your company to find opportunities. In order for you to identify what would be your next best step, as the owner or representative of your company, you will need to determine exactly what it is that you wish to accomplish. In order to do that, you will need to assess and determine what your company's primary goal is. Today, I will walk you through 3 of the most common goals I come across when meeting small businesses, and also introduce you to applicable resources for each goal. In addition to determining your firm's goals, you'll learn how to provide goods and services to Caltrans. You'll learn how to identify resources inside and outside of Caltrans after certification. And you'll also learn about free resources available from our Caltrans partners. Some things you want to keep in mind is determine your goal and then determine the next steps. In the next few slides, we'll be discussing what is your goal in working with government agencies, what are the applicable resources needed to help you achieve those goals, and also what resources are available to help your business. The 3 most common goals I hear from small businesses are, I want to work with government agencies in general, I want to provide a product and or service specifically to Caltrans, and I just want to market my business to anyone and everyone. I'd like to address the first goal. I want to work with government agencies in general. There are a few key items a small business should consider when looking into doing work with government agencies, such as what certifications does each agency recognize, or what platform does each agency use? Are there requirements before you can bid on a project? Are there even opportunities for my type of work with this agency? And who do I need to get in contact to even start? Certifications alone can be both intimidating and time-consuming. Each government agency independently recognizes specific certifications, and some of these certifications may or may not be recognized by neighboring agencies. You may or may not be familiar with the Small Business Certification, or SB, the Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise, also called DVBE for short, certification, or even the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Certification. But did you know, depending on where you are looking, there may be several certifications that sound similar to these, but are certified by a different agency who may or may have different requirements. Or different agencies call the same certification different names, such as SB or SBE. Yes, this is more than a bit overwhelming, and this is just regarding certifications. Can you imagine also trying to figure out which vendor portal to sign up on, which licensing requirements you may need, yet alone find out who you need to even talk to figure out if the agency you're looking at even procures your goods and services? Wouldn't it be great if you had someone who is a subject matter expert on government contracting and can give you all the answers to these questions? Well, let me introduce you to your first great, valuable resource to take note of that can help you with all of the above when it comes to government contracting. The Procurement Technical Assistance Center, also known as PTAC, come in various shapes and sizes as they each reflect the individual needs, priorities, and resources available to the counties they serve. Each PTAC has its own different funding source, so you may see some partnering with other agencies such as your local university, community college, or institution. What can a PTAC do for you? PTAC can determine if your business is even ready for government contracting. Pursuing government contracts is a challenge and can be a burden for your company if you do not have the resources or maturity to handle a contract. A PTAC representative can sit with you one-on-one and determine if your company is ready and how to position yourself for success. PTAC can also help you register in the proper places. There are numerous databases to register with, as I mentioned previously, and to get involved with government marketplace, including the Department of Defense's System for Award Management, also called SAM. There's GSA schedules and other government vendor sites. They can also see if you are eligible in any small business certifications. Some government contracts are set aside for certain businesses that have special certifications, such as woman-owned, minority-owned, and hub-zone. A PTAC representative can help you obtain these certifications if you're eligible, which will allow for more government contract opportunities. PTAC can also assist with researching past contract opportunities. They can look into past contracts to see what types of contracts have been awarded to businesses like yours, and this will help you better assess which agencies you may have more opportunities with. In addition, a PTAC can help you identify and bid on a contract, and if you're awarded the contract, they can continue to provide support through measuring your performance and helping you with your contract audit. All of these amazing services are at no cost to you, and you can find your local PTAC by visiting the link my counterpart dropped in the chat box. And just, I don't think I mentioned it at the beginning, but we will be providing you with all of this information after today's event, so that way you can access it easily and you don't have to worry about writing all of these acronyms down and these links. So we'll be sure to get that information to you after today. Government agencies can span from your local municipality, such as the city or the county of where your business is located, to a nationwide or federal level. Let's see, and if your company is looking for work on a state agency level, almost every agency and or department within the state of California has an SB or DVBE advocate. An essential objective and purpose of these advocates' role is to assist small businesses and DVBEs pursue contracting opportunities within their respective departments. And the directory is available online. That's the link that we're showing here on this slide. And when you click on that link, it takes you to the advocate directory, which you see here on this slide. This is a snapshot of what that directory looks like. It will provide you with information including the department name, the contact person, the advocate for that department, and their contact information. This list would be your first line of contact and your first step with doing business with that particular agency. Now, after looking at this long, comprehensive list of various state agencies, let's say that you decide that you want to focus on doing business specifically with Caltrans. And before we go into that, I do want to stop for a moment and just see if anybody has any questions.
Hey, Alex, we do have one question from Catherine. She mentioned that she went through partway through a Caltrans certification application and had concerns about shared facilities. But she was directed by her PTAC counselor to address her questions to Caltrans. So Catherine, I'm actually going to step in and answer that question for you. I'm assuming this is a DBE application since you mentioned it's a Caltrans certification. For those who aren't familiar, DBE is Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Certification. For any questions specific to a DBE certification through Caltrans, you can direct your questions to dbe.certifications@dot.ca.gov. I will also drop that in the chat. They also have a direct line that you can call. They do have what they call Analyst of the Day, who does address the questions that are coming specific for those applications on that day of that you are inquiring. And I dropped that phone number in the chat as well. If you have any other questions regarding that, definitely let us know. But I hope that answers your question, Catherine. Other than that, I don't believe we have anything else. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you, Mesa. All right, so let's get back into it. So if you want to do business specifically with Caltrans, we're going to address the next most frequent goal I hear from small businesses, which is I want to provide a product or service specifically to Caltrans. A few items your company should take into consideration when venturing the idea of doing business with Caltrans would be to know which certifications Caltrans specifically recognizes. And what is your company's capacity? Can it handle large dollar contracts or needs to start off with contracts that are less than $10,000? Also, how does your company align with Caltrans? What position or division within Caltrans do you feel would benefit the most about hearing about your service or product? For instance, do you provide new innovative safety gear and feel that this may benefit the maintenance workers that work directly in the field? Or do you have a state-of-the-art program that can help engineers monitor progress on projects? Or do you provide general janitorial services for office buildings, so you would need to be in contact with the person in charge of facilities? So these are all different points to take into consideration before venturing into doing business with Caltrans. Now, listed on this slide are some of the other types of certifications. I won't go through all of them, but these are other ones that you can obtain. Caltrans recognizes three main certifications. The first one is the small business, and the small business is an umbrella that includes the micro business designation as well as the small business for the purpose of public works certification. Then we also recognize the Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise certification, which we also call DVBE. And this certification seeks to help armed forces veterans with service-related disabilities who have left military service and are seeking opportunities for their businesses. The third certification Caltrans recognizes is the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise, or DBE certification, which seeks to address the disparity between some businesses and others in terms of access to economic opportunity, and it seeks to level the playing field for new businesses. On this slide, you can also see these different percentages. So these are Caltrans' goals in regards to these certifications. So we have a 25% goal for SB and 5% goal for DVBE on state-funded contracts. And then we have a 17.6 DBE goal on federally funded contracts. And keep in mind that when a project has just $1 of federal funds, you can expect to see some type of DBE goals. Now, by visiting the link on the screen, you can find access to more information regarding these two certifications, including eligibility requirements, access to application forms, and supplemental documentation requirements. For questions that are specific to these certifications, you may call the number on this slide, or you can also send an email to the address shown on this slide. So now that I've told you where you can go to get an SB or DVBE certification, let's talk about where you can go to get the DBE certification. So the California Unified Certification Program, which is also known as CUCP, certifies for the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise certification that Caltrans recognizes. Because DBE is a federally recognized certification, each state may have their own DBE certification program. With that said, I'd like to emphasize that Caltrans only recognizes the DBE certification that was issued by any one of the certifying agencies you see listed on this slide. If you received a DBE certification from any one of these certifying agencies, Caltrans will recognize it. That does not mean that you need to obtain a certification from each of these listed agencies, only one of them, so that you can choose, so that way you can choose to get certified from the one closest to your place of business. And once you obtain certification from one of these agencies, your company's information and certification status will be placed into a CUCP database that is searchable by the public. If you choose to apply for the DBE certification through Caltrans, you may download the application by visiting the link on the screen. And once you compile all the necessary and applicable documents to submit along with your application, you will also need to submit your package to the mailing address shown on this slide. So this process is a little different from the SB or DVBE certification that is done through DGS, as this process is more manual and the DGS process is electronic. So when applying for the DBE certification, if you are depending on obtaining the certification to bid on an active solicitation, you will need to consider the time to physically mail the applications to Sacramento, to also consider the reviewing time, and then any back and forth communication in the event that your application may be missing information. If you want to ensure that you provide all the needed documentation the first time around, I highly encourage you to make an appointment with a PTAC counselor, as I mentioned at the beginning of this presentation. So let's fast forward a bit. You go through the application process and you get your certification approval letter. Now what? Where do you go for opportunities? So there are three groups of business types that can potentially do business with Caltrans. The first is construction, The second is architecture and engineering. And the third is a service and or commodity. Every business is different, which means that not all resources are applicable to each business. In this segment of the presentation, I will be providing general resource links respective to each type of business, highlighting a couple that are definitely worth paying attention to. So for those companies that provide construction-related services, you can find a couple of resources on this slide that are definitely worth taking a look at. Caltrans uses an electronic bidding process to provide flexibility to companies like yours. All projects are typically advertised between 3 to 7 weeks, and bids can be submitted and resubmitted at any time prior to bid opening. Contractors Corner is the place where you can find information on the electronic bidding process. Active construction-related solicitations, which includes project specifications, upcoming projects that are in the pipeline. You can also look at advertisements from primes looking for certified subcontractors, and so much more. So this page is definitely one to bookmark. Now, if you're newly starting out as a company and are looking for mentoring opportunities, Caltrans District 4, which is the Bay Area, Oakland area, currently has a construction mentor protege program. This program is designed to encourage and support businesses who are proteges in the program through voluntary partnerships with more established companies that volunteer to be mentors. The mentor protege program was constructed to help small and locally owned construction firms acquire the knowledge, the skills, and the relationships that are necessary to bid and successfully complete public works projects. Although not all of the 12 districts currently have this program implemented within their servicing counties, several are interested and looking and creating one. Therefore, if this is something that you are interested in participating in, you are encouraged to actively be on the lookout for updates within your district. From the Division of Procurement and Contracts website, also called DPAC, you can find the link for the A&E contract information, which is the link you see here on the slide. I highly encourage all A&E firms to bookmark this link. This link will give you access to advertisements as they relate to A&E, audits and investigation, guides, the California Code of Regulations, a plethora of documents including cost proposal documents, required forms and instructions, goal requirements, and contracting processes, to name a few. Two of the resources you can also find on this page that I'd like to highlight is the Look Ahead report and the CalMentor site. Putting together a bid proposal takes a significant amount of time. Wouldn't it be great to be able to know well in advance of a project that your company has the potential to perform on, to maximize the amount of time you had to put together a team for the project? The A&E Look Ahead report is designed to do just that. This report is updated daily to reflect all projects coming down the pipeline for all 12 Caltrans districts. Keep in mind that the dates reflected on the report are projected dates and may potentially move up or be delayed. However, it gives you an idea of when you can expect such projects to be advertised to the public. The second resource I'd like to highlight is the CalMentor section. Just like construction, there is a mentor protege program designed for entry-level A&E firms looking for mentoring opportunities. This program is designed to encourage and support small businesses through voluntary partnerships with mid-sized and larger firms. Specifically, the program aims to increase the participation of small architectural and engineering firms in public transportation projects in the respective region of where their program currently is. 10 out of 12 Caltrans districts have a CalMentor program, with a few of those districts collaborating together to create a program, as some districts are smaller than others. You can visit the link on the screen to see if you have a CalMentor program in your neighboring district. And I believe Maysel dropped this in the chat box as well. Okay, so now for our third category, it's the services and commodities. So if your company has a new product that can be of use in construction, maintenance, and operation of the California transportation system, you may contact the new products department. Their email is new.products@dot.ca.gov, which you see here on the screen. And this area can also assist with adding a product to the existing authorized materials list. And you can view the current authorized materials list and their criteria at the link listed on the slide. For more information about the submittal process for the product evaluation program, you can also visit the second link posted there on the slide. Now, for those companies that provide a commodity or service that Caltrans currently uses, the state contract and procurement registration system, also called Skippers, would be a great resource to check out. Skippers tracks overall total contracting dollars and contracts procured by the state of California. And you can search already awarded contracts within Caltrans relating to your commodity service and see when the contract is due to expire. So that allows you to prepare and anticipate when this contract is forthcoming. Both the state contract and procurement registration system, or Skippers, and the statewide procurement data dashboards can be located in the Department of General Services website. For those companies that provide a commodity or service that Caltrans, oh, sorry, I already went over that. Let me go down here. Okay. So whether you are in the line of construction, professional service, or sell commodities, CalProcure will be a key resource when wanting to do business with Caltrans as a small business or even any state agency. Caltrans partners with DGS to make doing business with the state easier, and DGS maintains the California State Contracts Registry, also known as CalProcure, which is an online portal where many of Caltrans's and other agencies bidding and contracting opportunities are advertised. The functions available in this portal include bidder registration, where all bidders can set up their profile. SB and DVBE firms have already been pre-registered in the system, and they're able to update their profiles and their desired notifications. You can go in there and add the keywords for your business as well. And then also, you can use CalProcure to assist in getting SB and DVBE certified. So new applicants can apply for certification on CalProcure, and firms already certified can update or renew their certification information. And you also have the ability to search other certified firms as well. Lastly, you can search for bid opportunities on CalProcure, and you can receive notifications on these opportunities as well. And the cool thing about CalProcure is that they also have training videos. They have a lot of resources in there as well to help you in navigating the system, and really, it's really user-friendly. So they updated it, and it's a great resource. Okay, so each of Caltrans' 12 districts have at least one district small business liaison. They're also known as DSBLs, which is what I am and what my counterpart Maysel are. So we're the DSBLs for District 11. Because each district operates individually, procurement processes may differ amongst the districts. So your best resource would be the DSBL for the district you wish to work with, to help with identifying your best next steps with doing business with that specific district. DSBLs serve as the district's primary point of contact for small business-related concerns, including efforts to increase the participation of certified small businesses, disabled veteran business enterprises, as well as disadvantaged business enterprises. In addition, DSBLs are the primary contact for small business related concerns. They provide outreach and advocacy services, and other small district business liaisons are on the point of contact when trying to work with our department as well. Now, Caltrans is divided up by 12 districts. Here in District 11, we make up Imperial County and San Diego County. On this side, we have listed the counties that each of our districts cover. These are the same counties that each of the district small business liaisons cover, and you will also see on the map where each of the district offices are located. So it gives you an idea of exactly what area they encompass. On this screen, I have a list of general resources that can assist you with any small business looking to work with Caltrans. Please keep these links for your reference to assist with small business certification and support. Although we've talked about a few of these, I would like to highlight the outreach calendar, the outreach events calendar. And this calendar is a great tool if you're looking to network with other small businesses or if you're looking for a specific training opportunity. Some of you may have gotten to this event today through the outreach calendar. And this is where you can learn of any upcoming events scheduled to occur in your neighboring district. By clicking on a specific event listed on this calendar, you are able to see, which districts have events coming up. You see the event details, how to register, and even the ability to copy the event to your calendar for reminders. Now, I want to go over our statewide Small Business Council. The purpose of the Caltrans Small Business Council is to encourage the participation of small businesses with Caltrans and to provide a forum for small business trade associations to comment and provide their feedback on Caltrans policies and the practices that affect or impact small business utilization, as well as the participation in Caltrans contracts and projects. Caltrans uses external advisory committees to develop solutions to the state's transportation problems, to disseminate information regarding specific Caltrans projects and programs, and also to provide a forum for interactive discussions with interested parties. If you're interested in more information or would like to become a member of the council or a committee, you may do so by going to the Small Business Council website listed here on the slide and also dropped in the chat box. Okay, so I believe someone had a question in the chat box, but Maysel, if you want to let me know if there are any questions.
Sure. I did want to reemphasize before I do address those questions that if you have a question, please drop it into the Q&A. It can get lost within the chat because I am also providing links to those that are attending. So please, moving forward, using the Q&A field to list your questions. But I did have a couple that I notated. We did have someone ask about our goals and to see if we've achieved it. I'm not sure if this person's asking particularly if we're reaching the goals statewide or if our district specifically is. Speaking to District 11, since that's where Alex and I reside or oversee for small businesses, we are currently reaching our small business goal. So that is achieved. We do have a little bit less on the 5% DVBE goal. We are at a little bit over 3%. However, just to emphasize, our goal statewide for Caltrans is 3%, but we do try to achieve that and shoot for 5%. So we are above the requirement, but a little bit less than what we're achieving, but we are actively looking to see how we can increase or obtain our goal for that. That is just actually based off of the Q2 statistics. We do not yet have the Q3 or 4 stats. So that could be a little bit different as of now, but once that is released, I do encourage you to reach out to us again to see if we can give you more updated stats. Or as Alex just mentioned in the previous slide, we do encourage you to get involved and go to our small business council meetings, so that way you can get this information as we do have them. That's something that we do report district-wide as well as statewide. In terms of DBE certification for District 11, we are at 12.94% as of May. Again, that is from May 2021. It could be a little bit different as the stats are released. We are a little bit shy of that, but we are striving also to see how we can increase the participation and utilization of that. Again, you're encouraged to attend our Small Business Council. We do have one locally, or you can reach out to us directly and we can meet with you on a one-on-one. And I think Alex will reach out in regards to that in the upcoming slides. I did also want to indicate that for those that have joined us late today, this meeting or this session is recorded. We will provide our resources shortly after the presentation concludes. So if you have any specific questions about opportunities for your company, you can reach out to us again for a 101 so we can address those. This is more of a general session to give you where you can find your different resources. And I think I just got one more question. Unless there was something you wanted to add, Alex?
No, I'll go over all the one-on-one stuff in the next slide.
Okay, Ralph, I do see your question. In regards to specific efforts with Native American enterprises, that we for the DBE certification, that does include that group of individuals. We are still trying to figure out how we can increase the utilization. I do encourage you again to go to a Small Business Council if there is any efforts you think that we can work on. We also have the Office of Civil Rights, which does do the efforts statewide. But I will give you our contact information so we can connect offline. Thank you.
Thank you, Maysel. And thank you everyone for your questions. Let's go ahead and go into the next section. So the last goal that I'd like to talk about today is if your company is just looking to market with anyone and everyone. So some things to consider. What stage of the business cycle is your company currently in? Are you ready to take on a million customers the next day if the opportunity presented itself? Does your company have the ability to jump in, afloat, or has to take baby steps or just get your feet wet? By taking into consideration what stage your business is in, you can identify which resources to utilize to bring your business to the next level. When owning your own business, time is money. So you want to make sure you make the most of your time. On top of that, know what your company has the capacity of performing will allow you to recognize which solicitation resources is the best or are the best to pay attention to. Also, how are you getting your business recognized currently? What organizations are you involved in? And who is your target audience and who can help you get the word out? Those are all things to take into consideration. If you are a newer small business and you are just exploring various avenues, the Small Business Development Center, or SBDC, is a great place to start. SBDC offers no-cost training, they host valuable networking events, and they provide one-to-one advising to those who are eligible and seeking to start, grow, and manage their small businesses. Some of the areas of support that they can also provide include help starting a business, business strategic planning, disaster response assistance, marketing, access to capital funding, government contracting, technical commercialization, and a variety of other resources and services. The SBDC hosts and holds various valuable networking opportunities throughout the year. And you can keep up to date on their events by signing up for their mailing list. Another resource I want to mention is the Service Corps of Retired Executives, or SCORE. SCORE's mission is to foster vibrant small business communities through mentoring and education. And they aim to give every person the support they need to thrive as a small business owner. SCORE has the nation's largest network of volunteers, of expert business mentors, and is dedicated to helping small businesses get off the ground, grow, and achieve their goals. And they provided education and mentorship to over 11 million entrepreneurs since 1964. To get help in growing your business, you can get in contact with SCORE by visiting the link on the slide. A SCORE counselor would be your contact, and you can also find your neighboring SCORE location through that link as well. Okay, so now we'll go over the U.S. Small Business Administration. Not only does the SBA reference almost every resource mentioned here today, which can be found in their local assistance tab, the SBA is in itself a great resource for all small businesses. On the SBA link found on this slide, you'll have access to information regarding funding programs, which include loans, investment capital, disaster assistance, surety bonds, and grants. Business guides, which can help plan, launch, manage, or grow your business, are also available there as well. The SBA website has a learning center that covers several topics in whichever stage that your company is currently in, whether you're seeking to create a new business or you're growing an existing business. Federal contracting information is also included in the contracting guides, and contracting assistance programs and counseling is also available. So now that we've provided you some great resources to get your business started in the right direction, let's review those resources by addressing the most frequently asked questions. So first frequently asked question, where can you find contract opportunities at Caltrans? So for state-funded contracts that are under $333,000, CalProcure would be your go-to resource. For a list of currently advertised or upcoming major construction projects, you'll want to visit Contractors Corner. Now, where do you get certified? So as we discussed, Caltrans recognizes the small business, including the micro and the small business for public works certification. They also recognize the DBBE certification and the DBE certifications. So the Department of General Services are the ones that certify for the small business and for the DBBE certifications. And then as we talked about for the DBE certification, you can apply through any one of the 10 certifying agencies, which will then put you into the CUCP database. Now, who can help with certification applications or government contracting in general? We talked about the Small Business Development Center, or the SBDC, and then we also talked about PTAG. So those are going to be your best resources to help walk you through the certification applications, as they're not specific to one government agency. They can help you with certifications that Caltrans recognizes and doesn't recognize. And both organizations have a more diversified knowledge of the various government agencies. Now, who do I reach out to within an agency to find out how to do business with them? First, for state agencies, your best resource is to go to the SB-DVBE advocate list, which we mentioned, that can be found on the DGS resource page. And this list will give you the name, the contact information for each advocate and their relative agency, so not just Caltrans. And then within Caltrans, if you're looking just specifically to do business with us, your go-to person will be the district small business liaisons for your neighboring districts. All right, so now that we've summarized all the different resources that I went over today, do we have any additional questions?
I don't believe we have any further questions at this time. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you. Okay, so what are your next steps? Now that we've identified the 3 most common goals of small businesses that reach out to Caltrans, and we address the most frequently asked questions, you can take the next steps in learning how to do business with any government agency by making an appointment with a PTAC counselor or reaching out to the advocates listed in the statewide SB DVBE advocate list. For those of you that are looking to do specifically with Caltrans, as Maysel mentioned, you can reach out to schedule a one-on-one meeting with us. It would be Maysel and I for District 11, or you can go into the advocate list and see who is specific to whichever district you want to do business with. And then to get your business out there, to market your business through any avenue, you can attend outreach and networking events, whether it's hosted by Caltrans or by SBDC, to interact with all the participating public agencies and attending small businesses. Or you can sign up for upcoming workshops by one of the referenced resources to educate your company decision makers on topics they don't already know, to get your company to the next level. Whatever you decide is your next step, we hope that you found today's resources helpful and that they guide you in the right direction. We thank you for joining us today, and if there are any additional questions, please feel free to ask them now, or you can schedule an appointment with us at a future time. Thank you, everyone.